We could take a look at that. A lot of the times, it's called benefits as a disabled child, and you have to be found disabled prior to the age of 22 to be entitled. We don't see a lot of people coming in and claiming that they were disabled as a child. I mean, we have a lot of people coming in saying, well, they recently became disabled because of an accident or some other thing. But as far as going, I mean, I would need to know how many years that they were going back. We would want to see whether they had ever applied and were receiving as a child. Now, if they were approved as a child, it may be easier to request a prior folder in that case. But it would just depend on the facts of the situation.
But that would be the kind of thing that you would do for somebody?
Oh, yeah, we could definitely
Do you
take a look at
charge
that.
for your services when you do that kind of stuff?
No, we don't charge any attorney's fees, and when we do represent people at administrative law judge hearings, we waive all fees.
Okay, because I know as a private attorney, if I take a Social Security disability case, I can charge up to 25% generally.
That's
Is that right?
correct.
So then, when people get large, sometimes they have been denied for long periods of time. If they go through Southeast Louisiana Legal Services, it's really going to work out to be a better deal for them if they win their case, because you guys are going to waive any type of compensation.
Absolutely. Our entire program is a free legal services program for those who qualify. And to qualify, basically, whether they're homeless or not, their income has to be below 125% of the poverty guidelines, the federal poverty guidelines. Or we can go up to 200% of federal poverty guidelines if we can show that there are exceptions. They can take specific deductions for travel costs for a job or child care, that's involved in.
Say there's a person who comes in and they have multiple civil issues going on. They need a lot of help. Do y'all represent? Can you represent them in more than one situation, or is there a limitation?
Well, you hit on something that I was just going to bring up. Our intake process is holistic because we have so many questions that we ask during the interview as standard form that usually the problem that the person originally came in for, they told us they came in for, well, if we ask them, well, are you getting food stamps? But that's not what they came in for, and they say no, and we look at the whole picture, and it looks like they should qualify for food stamps. We open a food stamp case for them if they want the food stamps, and so we help them pursue that. So we do usually, I would say, have multiple issues that we're helping a single individual client with.
So you're not real estate agents and you're not social workers, but when you see a need, if you know how to easily, so I would say maybe even elegantly, help that person from where they are to a lot better place, you're going to do that for them.
That is our purpose, is to help them become more self-sufficient, regain some of the dignity that they have lost in the process, and become more contributing members of society again. And that's we believe that's the best way to help our clients.
Now, when people qualify for Social Security disability benefits, okay, if they've been denied for a long period of time, I've seen some people come into some pretty large amounts of money, but at the same time, doesn't it happen that if you get a lot of money that then you're disqualified for all your benefits?
Well, for SSI, there's a $2,000 asset limit, but there's a 9-month exclusion period. So it's not uncommon for someone to apply, have been denied, waiting for a hearing. It's not uncommon for a year and a half to have passed. So they may be looking at about, $8,000, $9,000 worth of benefits. But what will happen is they'll start to get their monthly check. They'll get a first installment of around $2,200, and then every 6 months they'll be sent out a new installment of their money. Now, if they can show that they have an urgent need, like if they need the money to furnish, maybe their new apartment that they got, were able to get housing, you can show that to Social Security and they can get an advance on their money. But Social Security, they spread it out so that it doesn't happen. But after the 9 months period, if they have more than $2,000 worth of assets, that will stop their check. So
So, and there's a supportive housing program, and how does that help the, mentally disabled secure housing and help that they need?
The purpose of supportive housing, which is generally known as PSH, permanent supportive housing, is that the individual has to have a disability. The individual or a member of the family actually has to have a disability. And because of that disability, they need supports such as case management support, someone who will check in with them periodically depending on how intense the need is, to help them, for instance, make doctor's appointments, keep doctor's appointments, pay their bills on time so they don't lose their housing, and things of that nature. And those are the supports that are built into the housing so that they can maintain some stability in their life and not end up homeless again.
That sounds really great. And is that funded by what, the federal government, or how is that funded?
Well, there are different programs, and I think many of them do get federal funds, but there are state funds as well, and city funds. New Orleans, City of New
So
Orleans.
then your homeless advocacy project is like, part of it is to know about these different programs and help people to qualify for them if they're worthy people.
We are a member organization of Unity of Greater New Orleans, and
Okay.
there are roughly 60 member agencies that work with Unity, and we have a monthly meeting, service providers meeting, where we can share that kind of information, because all of the service providers are providing different services: housing, case management, medical, legal in our case. And so at those meetings, we share information about different programs coming on board and different ways that we can help the homeless client population.
Well, I mean, as lawyers, okay, it seems to me that there would only be very certain, I mean, especially outside of the criminal area where someone got arrested, because homeless people are going to get arrested for any kind of variety of minor charges, at least, I've heard some people say, I don't know if it's true or not, it came from a pastor, said they feel like sometimes they don't want the tourists to see them, and if there's too many around, they just kind of come and off you go. And I guess they always got some kind of charge they can charge you with. But
there is a municipal charge called obstructing a public passage that, yes, some of our clients do get dragged into jail on, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess without getting into that question, my question is I mean, how do your clients find you or find out that you're available and that you can help them?
Oh, we do. We have at least 3 monthly outreaches that we do. We have one that we do at the Ozanam Inn once a month on the last Thursday of the month. We also do one at Abstract Last Hope on Magazine. We do that the last Thursday of the month. We also have an outreach we do at Transitional Care Center. It's part of the West Jefferson Hospital system. And we do that the first Tuesday of every month. We also have walk-in clinics where people can come in without appointments. That's the first and third Wednesday of the month between 1 to 3. But really, I mean, in the past couple of years, just with the outreaches that we've been doing, we've become, very popular, and we have a lot of word of mouth,
Okay, but you're going out to where the homeless people are staying and saying, here we are if you need us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's great. That's great.
Absolutely. And if any member agencies or even non-member agencies call us, we'll come out. We'll do a specific legal presentation on what issues their clients may be facing. And it's just really a lot of word of mouth. We have a lot of referrals from former clients, and yeah.
The fact is, we are not hurting for clients. At the moment, I'd say Jesse and I each have about 150 cases open in our system, and that's pretty constant, because as fast as we can close one, 2 or 3 might open. So they find us. They really do. And the latest statistic coming from Unity is that we have about 12,000 homeless in the city of Greater New Orleans area, and that's about double from what it was pre-Katrina. So we do not have a shortage of clients. Even if we didn't go out there, they would find us.